A family of 5 was coming home from a vacation, and you guys know how things are after you've had a long trip with a lot of excitement. The kids are in the back seat trying to sleep, and the parents are just trying to stay awake long enough to make it home. And then they're confronted with what a lot of people will call a nightmare, and there's a driver heading the wrong way over 90 miles an hour on I-75, and they hit head-on, killing not only the family of 5, but also the driver. And the cause of this was driving under the influence of alcohol. As college students, we should really be thinking about this because it's something we're going to be confronted with a lot. Some of us, if you're not already over the age of 21, we're getting to the age of 21. And even if you're not actively engaging in these kinds of activities, it's something that you'll just notice around you. I know the bowling alley very close to the university has a Thunderstruck Thursday, and they have a tendency to overserve. And I know there's a lot of drunk driving that happens near there. But I think what we don't realize is first that drunk driving is very common. It sounds like a very scary thing that you just hear about in big stories, but it's a very common thing. It has a lot of negative impacts, but there are things we can do to keep ourselves safe and kind of just ways to take action to protect yourselves. So first, the commonality of it. If you don't mind, you don't have to if you don't want to, but just raise your hand if you know anybody that's driven while drinking alcohol. Right, that's very common. So the Population Health Metrics in 2018 journal estimated that there are over 100 million annual episodes of alcohol-impaired driving nationwide. So that's over 1/3 of all vehicle accidents. Out of distracted driving with texting, just out of all of them, that's the most common. So there are also a lot of negative impacts. Obviously, if you crash, it can turn a family vacation into a fiery scene. Even if you don't crash, even if nobody gets hurt, there's still the fact that it will encourage you to do it again if you make it home safely once, and you're like, well, I'll have 1 or 2 drinks, and then I'll go home, and then 1 or 2 turns into 3 or 4, and then you're driving home on too many. If you get pulled over, you could get arrested, which unfortunately would be probably the best scenario, just safe to keep everybody on the road safe. Even if you're under the age of 21, if you're not legal to drink, because you can blow a .08 on the breathalyzer and be safe to drive, I think, or that was the legal alcohol limit. So you will get detained, but then if you're under 21, any alcohol, you could blow a .0001 and you're going to get arrested because you're not legal to drink alcohol and that's above your legal limit. So the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration estimate that 50% of all traffic fatalities, not just accidents, but deaths on the road, are from incidents of driving under alcohol influence. So now, finally, we want to talk about how to keep yourself safe. So a lot of us are on the road, we're in college, we're driving to school and to jobs and home, and we have a lot of family that we care about that we want to keep safe. So one way to do this is to speak up. If you see somebody drinking and driving, if you know that they're going to, maybe talk to them, try to talk them out of it. If you can't talk them out of it, maybe see if you can talk to somebody that they're closer to, see if they can talk them out of it. You could also offer them a ride home or a place to stay if you're somewhere where they could crash and they don't need to worry about driving home. So you could also be an advocate of it. Preventative medicine from 2010 shows that 49% of adults claim that they will get a ride if they feel buzzed. Before advocacy, like before you spoke out about it and it was known how dangerous this really was, it wasn't that common to seek other options and alternatives. So really you just want to make sure that you're doing what you can to drive safely yourself, but also to make sure that others around you are driving safely. If you yourself are impaired, don't drive, find a place to stay, maybe find somebody that can take you home if you really have to go. So to conclude, we really need to pay attention to this because it's something that's happening around our age. It's when we're really starting to get involved in these kinds of things. And there are negative impacts, whether it's a crash or getting arrested. And also that you need to know that there are ways you can stay safe and actions you can take to prevent these kinds of things. And so just drive sober, be there for someone if your friend calls you and they're drunk, just be there for them even if you might be annoyed, you know, it could be the difference in lives.
Good. Billy?
Do you think it's important for colleges and even high schools to